Hello, welcome to this week's special edition of WCS Sports Connection. This is the WILLCO Review Show. I'm with my co-host and WILLCOs expert, Tate Mathews. Tate, thank you so much for everything that you did, your contribution to WILLCOs, which is a lot. A lot of people don't know behind the scenes things that you did with your company, with Adidas, and then at the red carpet itself, being on the red carpet with Coach Joins, DJ himself, and Coach Goodwin. What a great night, man. I'm exhausted still. It's a week after, still cleaning up, but fantastic event for our student athletes, I think.
Oh, it was. I was very pleased and very humbled to be a part of it, and I love doing it with Coach Goodwin and Coach Joins. I told them both, for people that, I mean, they do this once a year, you know, and I think they're better than a lot of professionals out there doing it. So I was very pleased with the way it turned out, and I was glad to be a part of it. Appreciate you having me be a part of it, and the night was awesome, man. It every year it just keeps getting better and better, and I think that was the story this year.
For those that haven't seen it, don't even know what it is, it's our version of SB's. WCTV will have the footage up. We'll also have the link that you can click and go see it. But you know, I tell you what did it for me. Stephen Margazzi came in. He was, you know, our guest speaker, if you will, a comedian / magician, works for TLC Blade. Fantastic, really, really funny guy.
Goes to banquets and events.
That's his job.
And ceremonies all over the state, in the state of Tennessee. That's his job. That's right.
His job.
So he goes to a bunch of them.
And he walks in, and he's like, "This is unbelievable."
Right.
He's
well,
like,
and didn't he say, I didn't realize this is what you were talking about. I thought this was just like, he was expecting like being a cafeteria banquet with serving spaghetti that the moms brought in, right?
Right. And his comment pretty much summed it up for me. He's like, "I've never seen anything like this, particularly at the high school level. Nobody does anything like this at the high school level." Yeah. So that's, you know, that's kind of validation for all the work that goes into it. I don't do it for that. That's not what we do. We do it because we have a special group of 4,700 athletes that deserve it.
Right.
And when we get whittled down from 4,700 to the top 84, that's pretty special. You're an elite company. When we go through these names, you talk about some of the accolades they have, and you look at what's going on, Tate, it's amazing to me that people don't realize the amount of talent we have in this county.
Yeah, well, and I think you do. The neat thing about when you finally get there, and I know one thing that Coach Goodwin and Carrie Goodwin and Coach Joins and I talk about is when you see them all listed there together like that and you start reading out their accomplishments out loud, you know, you realize, wow, man, I mean, we got some really special people here. So to win this, you know, a lot of the categories, I mean, the first category on there, girls basketball. I mean, you win that thing, female athlete of the year, you win that thing, every single one of them is going to college to do something, and you know what I'm saying?
Across numerous levels.
Numerous levels, that's right. And it's really neat. And I love, you know, I talk about it every year, but, you know, Street Tuxedo's so generous with the tuxedos. That's so fun to see what people pick out. And then the young ladies are dressed up, and they all, you know, they're all such great athletes and competitors, but then they dress up like that, and seeing them like that's neat. And I love how well-spoken they are. I know when I was 17, I wouldn't have done very well with a microphone in front of my face. And very, very few of them that came up and talked to us at the red carpet were uncomfortable. It's just, it's a really neat event, and I promise you, they won't ever forget it.
So many thank yous that have to go out there. Obviously, you got to start with Walker Chevrolet. You talked about Street Tuxedo, but Walker Chevrolet, obviously our title sponsor of the event, couldn't be done without them. And they also got Sponsor of the Year.
Yeah, well, not only that, though, they also provide the Tahoes. So what
awesome.
A lot of people couldn't see if you weren't at the red carpet waiting for your relative or whoever to get out is you had them in the staging area, and then you pulled them up, and these aren't 2013 Tahoes or Suburbans.
It's not like something you drove in high school.
That's right, man.
Some Billy Squire playing loud on the speakers. Well, windows rolled down.
No, that's a little more like that.
Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue.
Speaking of Motley, Vince Neil obviously showed up last year. That's why I'm making that reference. Didn't make it. Yeah. Go ahead though.
No, I mean, and so they pull them up, and then you know, you got people waiting on them right there in the headsets, and they get out, and okay, you walk down the red carpet. It's a big deal, man. They felt they were definitely loved on, and they felt it.
You look at the red carpet process, like you said. You got Walker Chevrolet, Spring Tree Media. Peter Vickay,
Peter had a good time.
Oh my goodness! I mean, he hand built the set for you guys. Takes care of all the lighting and sound inside, outside. Pretty phenomenal what they do.
Yeah.
They can do any kind of needs that you need out of visual-wise. Then you've got
and you know better than I do, but he does it for one reason. He does it because he wants to help and be a part of it. That's the only reason he does it.
Yes. Of course, he builds all of our game day sets that we do. So Springtree Media right here in town. Copy Solutions did all the paper goods, the golden tickets, the programs, the unbelievable awards they got. See, that's what people fail to realize. They're not getting the old screw in the bottom trophies, the old plaques that we used to give out. That's not what we're giving out, are we not?
No.
I mean, these are glass. They look great.
Yeah, they're nice.
Every kid got a champion coin.
They're not the gold glove turned upside down and you put the ball in.
That's right.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with
They get the champion coins. I mean, everything that was given that night. Copy Solutions right here in town across from Centennial did that as well. Adidas, Mathews Team Sports, couldn't do it without you guys. You gave so much of all the swag and the swag gear, then helped with the backdrops. I mean, everything looks so good. I couldn't be more pleased with the way everything looked. Came out. Then you mentioned Street Tuxedo. What about John Mayer? John Mayer Builders, $5,000 scholarship for the Mayer Sportsmanship Award.
Tell them, because you were busy emceeing, and I wouldn't have known had I not done the red carpet. The coolest thing about that is, and I saw him when he got there, he had no, the winner.
Had zero clue. I had him coming last.
Tanis, he had no idea why he was there. So if he looked like he was surprised when he got that scholarship, it's because he was.
Oh, and he was so humbled at the effect. It was one of those deals. It's almost, I knew it was on y'all's, I didn't purposely do, but I left it off your script because I didn't want you to say what he was getting.
Right.
So obviously when he walked up, you were like,
hey, bud.
here's a friend of, and I was like, yeah, let me introduce him because I didn't want you to blow that, because he had no earthly idea. And it was so genuine when he walked up there. He was like, wow, $5,000 scholarship, this kid. And that goes to every year. He, John Mayer, what he does for the Herald Awards, I mean, he gives out 6 $2,000 scholarships to that particular event itself. He gives us a $5,000 scholarship to give to a kid that played. It is the definition of an ultimate teammate. More than likely, the kid may have not got to play a lot of minutes or participated as much as some of the others, but perfect definition of a teammate. Positive, great, a captain, a role model, if you will, and going to college and not receiving any athletic scholarship funding.
That was a big chunk to him.
So
what he got in the other night.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. And it's just it's a really neat, and we couldn't do it without him. And then last we followed up with, ended up the night with the Courage Award, which is, I think, arguably both our favorite times of the evening. Berry Farms chiropractic, Dr. Matt Harris, so eloquently gets up there and discusses and talks about the process of that selection and how they came up with that particular award. Summit football team, very deserving of that award with the passing of Max Hollis and having the most successful season up to date in school history. Just really neat. It caps off the evening.
Without a doubt, and that video was very well done, and Coach Coleman, I thought, did a great job.
You mentioned that. I'm going to say something real quick. May interject something. WCTV intern here, Michael Hutchinson, cut that video himself. Wow. Did the whole thing. Also won WILLCO Award for Media Student of the Year. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That good, because he's really. I mean, that looked like I said. I mean, it looked like something that was on TV. I mean, it couldn't have been done any better. So. Yeah, I love it, and that award every year has not disappointed, and that's tough. That's a tough one to follow year after year. And then of course, Mark Parrish out there in the truck with MTSU. I went in the truck.
Shane
Shoemake was in there. Let me tell you something. I'd never been in there when they were doing it, and when I tell you, and so he's sitting there, and you were emceeing, and you're reading it, and so he would say, okay. Drop, and then the logo would come up. Swipe, roll, and then it'd start rolling the things. Drop. When I tell you he did not have 6 free seconds once that thing started, he didn't. I guess the only time was when Mr. Bergassi was up there. But like when you were doing the awards, what I'm saying is what that guy's doing in that truck is hard. I wouldn't want that job for anything. And so him, and then also we can't forget about your boy Mark Cross and those wings that everybody munched on. There weren't any left, by the way.
3,000. He brought 3,000 wings.
Yeah.
I never saw a wing. Now, I didn't need one. I was fine, but I mean, I was worried about last year. We had some left over. I was worried about all the drinks that we had. I was going to have to carry those out and clean up, So you bring up a good point. Seating capacity at the factory in Liberty Hall is 900 people. We had over 1,000 in that room. We had over 1,200 live streaming it.
Wow, I did not know that.
So yeah, I got that number the other day. When you bring it up, so it's pretty neat to see.
That's strong, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, it's the highest viewed thing that we've done to this point. To say it's a hot ticket, would you agree with that?
It was full. I don't know how many more people you could have got in there.
And we obviously, when you have an event that big and you're doing what we're trying to do, you have some technical glitches, and I sincerely apologize to those that may be watching this that may have got left out of a package. I tried to come back in the back end and talk about that. Obviously, when you're emceeing it, you don't know that that's even happening. There's a tech glitch in the back, and I can't, bless those guys, just like you just talked about. 6 seconds, boom, boom, boom. Right. You got things going on, So it was. Nobody to blame. It's just one of those things that happen. Right. I don't want to dismiss the fact that the point is this: if you're in the building, that is a huge accomplishment.
That's right.
So
if you walk down that carpet, you're a heck of an athlete.
Without further ado, let's get to it. People have heard enough of us talking. We're going to do a quick breakdown of the schools real quick. Brentwood High School had 17 representatives there, 2 coaches, 2 teams, and they represented 24 categories. That's pretty stout. That's the largest of any one school at one time. Centennial, 5 students, 6 categories are represented. Fairview, biggest ever of
jump.
Yes, representation at the WILLCOs for the Fairview, and we'll get to them. They not only had fair representation, they won some big awards.
That's right. They took home some hardware.
10 students, 1 team, 13 categories. Franklin High School, most successful night for Franklin High School as well at this. 10 students, 1 coach, 1 team, 14 categories represented. Independence, 8 students, 1 coach, 1 team, 10 categories. You had Nolensville, 6 students, 6 categories. You had Page, 7 students, and 9 categories. And then you had Ravenwood, 11 students, 3 coaches, 3 teams, 18 categories. And son, they were there, and they were very rowdy. And I love that part about the show. You go to these formal events, everybody's in tuxedos. The ladies look great in their dresses. And we got people rooting just like, it's the competitiveness you can feel in the room, right?
It couldn't help it, yeah.
Yeah, you got to love it. So let's start just like I did the red carpet. Female Athlete of the Year, Tate, who do we have?
Holly Harris, Franklin basketball, University of Alabama, Huntsville signee, Logan Eggleston, Brentwood volleyball, Texas Longhorn. We're not going to dive off into it. I think we've announced it, but maybe not. She is so good that the University of Texas said, hey, if you can graduate early, come on to Austin a year early, we'll take you. And that's what she's going to do. I think it is safe to say that she is.
Could she be the most dominant athlete in that one sport that we have across the board?
Has to be. That just doesn't happen. Now, you might graduate in January and show up to early enroll in the spring.
They're looking for her to play.
They're asking her to come and be there in July to be on the team for 2018.
That's correct.
And we're counting on you to contribute.
That's correct.
We're not bringing you in a year early to redshirt you, okay? That's unbelievable. And then Gigi Maddox with Paige, cross country, track, soccer, probably the most, if we're talking all sport, well-rounded.
Auburn signee.
And she's going to Auburn.
Yep. And
then Kiera Downey, Ravenwood basketball, Tennessee Tech signee. I think Tennessee Tech got a steal on that one. So
sure,
tough category, man. That's one of those kind of. It goes back to Coach Joyne's question: are we talking most sports, multi-sport, most dominant, best season? What? And you got all that in that category.
You've got every realm. You've got your dominant in one sport, just like you said, and your multi-sport athlete. I think there was a little bit of surprise in this one, to be honest. I think everybody just kind of did the old check box there. Logan Eggleston is the reigning female athlete of the year from the WILLCOs the year before, but the WILLCO went to Holly Harris, 2-sport athlete at Franklin High School.
And I think it had to do with how dominant her senior year was, but she's right at 1,700 points. She was the district 11 AAA MVP. I think she was the region MVP.
Yep.
I can't remember exactly what it was. She shot dang near 40% from three-point line. And then I think that is what put her over in that category over Logan is. And then here she is. She plays soccer goalie on the soccer team. a really good soccer team, and she's very good. So I think that's probably what tipped her over the edge.
One thing that I failed to mention a while ago. Let me tell you what I love about this event. I'll tell you what I love about this event.
Oh, and I can't remember what it is, but her GPA is something crazy.
Yeah, it's 4 something.
Yeah. So.
I tell you what I love about this. This is year 4. We've just now got a full alumni class, right? And you start going back, and I put this on our new website, looking at all the past winners when I'm putting this together for you guys. And it is really remarkable.
It's impressive.
Think about the people that have won this in the past. Van Jefferson. Female Athlete of the Year, Jenny Roy won that. She was on the top 25 Belmont Lady Bruins basketball team right now. Of course, she was a three-sport athlete, track, volleyball.
That's right.
You know, Kaylin Hannon, former softball player of the year playing for the University of Tennessee. Libby Sugg, BYU, star, conference player of the year, home run, catcher, fill in the blank from Franklin. You know, you start going at Bryce Denton, Peoria Chiefs. You start looking at this list of these people.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrell Dotson, by the way, NFL draft is going to be hosted where next year?
Here?
Good potential that it's drafted in
be
Nashville. Could it be?
We might have to go see the
Could
guy.
the stars align that Tyrell has the season that he's probably destined to have and pull out early, go into the draft and to be at home? But you start looking at these names, it's pretty remarkable. Male Athlete of the Year, who do we have?
Reese Glover, Franklin basketball, Ty Carter, Summit football, Carson Shacklet, Brentwood football and baseball, and then Darius James, Fairview football, Fairview basketball, track. At the red carpet, we asked him if he swam on the swim team. He said no. So that is one thing that he does not do.
Do you think that was a shock?
No.
Not to me. Let me tell you something. The voters, it was unanimous.
Because here's the other thing, too. Not only does he play all 3, he dominates all 3. He changed that football team. They were a good football team.
Now we're not taking away from the other guys.
No, heck
Reese
no.
Glover dominated basketball.
Well,
Ty Carter dominated football,
let's say
and when
it
he
this
played
way.
basketball without his injury, he was great at basketball. Carson Shacklet, great quarterback, great baseball player going to Belmont. We're not taking away from these guys.
No.
Talk about what Darius James did.
Well, he gave them something that they did not have on that team. He was a guy that if you let it, kind of like Ty did for Summit, but we're talking about on the 3A level. If you gave him a seam, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Gone. And they haven't had anybody like that in a while.
Mr. Football finalist.
Mr. Football finalist, that's right.
Regular season and district tournament MVP in basketball for the most successful basketball team in history in Fairview.
That's right.
Make it to the sectionals and get beat in overtime, a basket away from going to state tournament.
Huh? By a dang good Stratford team,
And
right?
what do we do in the spring? Now all of a sudden we've got kids from Fairview that have qualified for the state track meet.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
And he is a guy, he could play anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can take him 6A, 5A, 4A, but yeah, all of them. Franklin doesn't win 28 games without him. Summit doesn't win 10 football games without Ty, and Brentwood doesn't probably have a state championship last year in baseball.
You're right.
They don't have a football season without Carson.
all these kids are very deserving of this
Awesome.
award.
But Darius did win, and I'm good with it.
Female teams of the year last year, Brentwood volleyball won. There was state championships. I don't think this was any kind of, listen, as long as you're on a 5-peat and your 13th state championship, it's pretty hard to dethrone the champions, hard to say. So Brentwood volleyball there. Ravenwood girls cross country, very deserving. They're the state champions this past year. Ravenwood girls basketball, best finish in school history. They make it to the state tournament. Brentwood softball, District 11 AAA champions, Erica Powell. Got them to the state tournament last year. Looks like this could be a repeat year of that. I think Erica Powell's hard work and her success will pay off. Really, I'm going to go ahead and put you in a crystal ball for the WILLCOs next year. I think she's going to be the person to beat in the voting next year for that.
And since the WILLCO show, they are now the region champions. They won the regional tournament. They're going to go. They have not played this sectional game yet. They're going to win it. They're going to go to Murfreesboro. And not only are you saying she's going to be the coach of the year next year, the one to beat, I think the Brentwood Lady Bruins win the state AAA softball
Boy, I hope
championship.
you're right on that assessment. I hope you're right on that. Let me throw another one at you. Obviously, they played Summit, who is a very hot team right now in that region championship game. They beat them 10-0.
I think they both go.
Summit. So that's my question. You think both qualify for state?
Yes.
That's
And man, talk about a tear. That's for next week's show.
Yeah, we'll
Summit's on a talk about a turnaround.
That's it. Male teams of the year, 16-17 winner was Indy football, 5A runner-up. Franklin boys basketball, Ravenwood football, Fairview wrestling, Independence baseball. Give me a nugget on each.
Well, Franklin basketball, 28-6, best record since 1989. Oh, by the way, they won the AAA state championship that year, won 30-something games, but they played 39 that year. Ravenwood football, 10-3. They lost to Cane Ridge, a return kickoff away from, in my opinion, going to Cookeville. I think that's the biggest surprise of the year. Had we had surprise Ravenwood football, Coach Daniels likes to remind us at the beginning of the season, you said there's 5 teams. Who's the one not going? And we picked Ravenwood.
We
They
did.
sure showed us.
We sure did.
Fairview wrestling, the greatest season of any sport in the history of the school. First state tournament, first state champion. Coach Bubba Derrick, what he's done there is unbelievable. And then Independence baseball, ranked number 1 all year long in the polls. What an unbelievable team. They just got beat by a really good Ravenwood team who, oh, by the way, just beat Brentwood to win the region championship.
At the time that the voting came out, they were ranked number 1 in AAA polls. Obviously, when we do
And deservedly so.
And when we do the spring sports, it's it could be a little shaky. Now, let me ask you this: Ravenwood football, if we had a comeback or biggest upset, biggest whatever
Biggest surprise.
team of the year, surprise team of the year,
Ravenwood
they would
football.
have won it. I'm going to go into my crystal ball.
Uh-oh.
Male coach of the year, team of the year,
Ravenwood football.
Ravenwood football.
like
Coach
it.
Matt Daniels next year. Just me going into the crystal ball. I'm not going to miss out again, so they're going to be outside looking in. I think this team comes back next year unbelievable. However, this year, the voters selected Franklin basketball.
Yeah.
Deservingly so.
Deservingly so. Deservingly so.
All right. Female coach of the year, last year's winner, Barbara Campbell, obviously newly inducted into the NCAA Hall of Fame, 13 state championship, 5-peat, on and on and on. You can't say enough about Barbara Campbell. Peter Miller, Ravenwood girls cross country, Mariska Harris, Ravenwood basketball, Barbara Campbell and Erica Powell, Brentwood volleyball, Brentwood softball. Winner goes to?
I didn't think about it till on the red carpet. It went to Mariska Harris. I didn't think about it till the red carpet. And when Coach Goodwin and when Carrie and DJ talked about this, I forgot. Last year, Mariska Harris had 8 people on her roster. She couldn't even practice 5-on-5.
That's correct.
And didn't know what she was going to do. You know what I'm saying? And for them to come back and make it to the state AAA tournament this year and be the regional sectional champions, I think they nailed it. And that's not to take anything away from what those other 3 did.
You have to look at something too. Sometimes you get wrapped up in these awards, and I'm not taking it away from anybody. People look at, and Coach Kirby brought up a good point when we were discussing this effort. Is this a career award, or is this what we did this year? That's
My opinion, this year.
That's a great way to look at it. So if and the voters, you look at it and say, you know what, Mariska Harris may not have the most talent, but look at what happened and how we rallied the troops, got in there. Very deserving. You could have gone with any of those people. That's the best thing about this award show. Congratulations to all the finalists. It's so deserving that you're here. Obviously, we are competitive in nature. We only have 1 winner, and Mariska was that. The voters, the voters have spoken,
won.
and that's who won. And congratulations to her.
Couldn't have gone wrong, but I like it. Like I said, when they brought that up, I was like, you're right. They got this right.
Male Coach of the Year, last year Scott Blade won this. Brian Coleman, Summit Football, very deserving to be in this category. Matt Daniels, obviously, very deserving to be in this. Darren Jones, Franklin Basketball, Mike McClary. These are all names that we've already spoken of. Winner goes to Darren Jones. I don't think there was any question about that going in, right?
No, but same thing. You couldn't have gone wrong with any of them.
So as we finished that up, we got into the individual awards. Time is running out on us. We're going to try to get at least through the winter. We'll finish up next week on our show, Sports Connection show, where we don't get to. So let's talk about it real quick. We're going to try to go through this pretty fast. Girls cross country, last year's winner, Addie Coggins at Florida State. This year's finalists were Jamie Blaylock of Ravenwood going to Western Carolina, Caroline Cherry of Brentwood, and Gigi Maddox going to Auburn Page. I think that was pretty self-explanatory once she was up for Female Athlete of the Year that she was going to win this category.
No doubt about it, and I'm glad. Nothing to take away from the other 2, but I'm glad she got it, man. She's going to do good things at Auburn.
Boys cross country, Davis Bove of Centennial, Matthew Rigsby of Ravenwood, Mac Zaney of Franklin, who was the winner.
Davis Bove of Centennial, and what a great year he's had, And I mean, he's been so long when he was behind the Vroons and others, But he was right there this year. He's the guy who he was the leader.
Girls golf, last year's winner Annie Paris of Brentwood. This year's winners or finalists rather, Gigi Powers of Brentwood, Amy Bridgman of Nolensville, and Haley Ray of Indy, all 3 state qualifiers. It's one of those deals where who do you pick? You know, who gets the best and who got the nod?
GG Powers. You know, I mean, when you go to the AAA state tournament, that's pretty strong.
On the boys golf side, 16-17 winner Trenton Johnson. I like to mention these names who won it last because we can reference where they went.
Right.
Louisville signee, state champion for Brentwood. Michael Shears owns the 68, 69, the lowest round in the TWA. Going signed with Vanderbilt, AAA state qualifier this year. If he'd have had I think he would tell you the same thing. Great kid, man. I love talking to him. If he had a first day like he was supposed to have, he could have won that thing going away, but he didn't. It's the way golf is. Tiger Woods can tell you that. Trenton Johnson also coming back on this thing as a state qualifier, and Clayton Williams finished 13th in the AA side for Fairview.
Well, think about that. Trenton Johnson wins it last year. He's back. He made it to the state tournament this year, and Michael Shears still wins it. That's awesome. Going to Vanderbilt, good for him.
Michael Shears, like you said, did win that for Franklin. Volleyball, 16-17 winner. No surprise here, Logan Eggleston. Great names in this group, though. Victoria Sereno, Ravenwood, state champion, signed with UTC. She was on the court, obviously battled the woods for the state championship. Brentwood won it. Ravenwood gets runner-up. Avery Davis, Summit. So excited to be there. She's a fantastic kid. She's a Western Kentucky commit. She's got one more year. I'm going to predict, crystal ball, that's your winner for next year. London Kaufman, Nolensville, Logan Eggleston, obviously we talked about earlier. No surprise there that Logan Eggleston walks away with that award.
She should have.
We will come back and start the show next week with the football, which gets very exciting. I know you love to talk about that. We'll dive in deep into that. So please tune in next week for the remainder of the WILLCO show. Mr. Producer, what do we have wrong? I know we have some wrong.
All right, guys. The only thing wrong that I caught, Michael Hutchison, who we're real proud of here at WCTV, he actually edited the Tanis Beak video, not the Summit High video. I think Summit High Media took care of that awesome video. So,
You are correct on that.
Congrats on the WILLCOs. It was awesome.
You're correct on that assessment, and the Tennis Beak video was phenomenal, and I can't say enough good things about Michael Hutchison, and I can't wait to see his career unfold. So thank you for joining us for the WILLCO special show. We'll see you next week on Sports Connection, where we'll finish out these finalists. Thanks for joining us.
The Franklin Theater has been a cherished hotspot of Williamson County for over 80 years. The venue, launched in 1937 on Main Street in downtown Franklin, invited people to laugh, to cry, and to enjoy the films shown while spending time together. It was the first business in the growing Franklin community to feature in-house public restrooms as well as air conditioning. This generated public interest all over the county. Tickets were 10 cents for children and 25 cents for adults. For the next 70 years, this popular cinema stood the test of time. Regretfully, in 2007, its doors closed due to financial issues and the increasing popularity of larger mega theaters. The people of Franklin were devastated to lose such a beloved landmark. In 2008, to help preserve the city's history, the Heritage Foundation of Franklin and Williamson County started a fundraiser to purchase and rehabilitate the sorely missed cinema. A large-scale renovation began several months later. With an investment of more than $8 million, the historic Franklin Theater officially reopened June 3, 2011, restoring and updating the heart of Main Street to its original glory. Today, the Franklin Theater offers a classic movie-going experience, as well as a venue for plays and concerts, complete with a stage, lighting, and state-of-the-art sound equipment. The theater even has several world movie premieres to its name, including Elizabethtown and Friday Night Lights. The Franklin Theater is a continual reminder that our Williamson County heritage should always be treasured.